Okay, so in the code, we're going to be asking a couple of questions about the information that was submitted. So first of all, we'll ask if a date, a title, and the details have actually been submitted. So if post, and then we'll have to remember what the names of all these are. So I'm just going to hit save appointment, and then I have a moment here. I have apt date is equal to an empty string, or if I think it's apt title and apt details. Good. Apt title is equal to an empty string, or post apt details. Actually, we'll allow details to be empty. I think that's okay. Sometimes we just want to put in a title and leave it at that. Also, apt type is this guy right here, the combo box. All right. And I think we can leave that as a potentially empty string, or sorry, an empty value. So we're not going to do a check on type. However, please enter both a date and title. I'm going to use dot equals. What that means is put this string on the end of whatever's already in this errors variable. So I've created errors as an empty string, and now it has something in there. All right. Now I'm going to save that, and you'll see that if I submit now, I don't get any errors yet. All right. What I want to do is after I've done all my error checking, so error check after error check, I'll ask if there are errors. So if my errors string is not equal to an empty string. I could also check the length of the string and see if it's greater than 0 or whatever. I could also do if not empty errors. So I could do that as well. But I think we'll stick to something that's a little bit easier to kind of grasp the first time around. If it's not an empty errors string, then let's echo there were errors in your input, and then we will output those errors along with it. Right. By the way, echo doesn't actually need these brackets. I just do it as a habit because it feels like a function to me. So there were errors in your input. Please enter both the date and the title. You'll notice that it's kind of squished together still. So why don't we wrap this up in a div tag, because this is HTML in the end. And div tags get a whole block to themselves, 100% width, so this will automatically space it below. All right. And then there were errors, and it says, please enter both the date and a title. Well, let's put that on the next line. All right, there you go. There were errors in your input. Please enter a date and a title. And let's also make that bold so it really stands out. Breaking all the rules of HTML today, though. Maybe I'll put a dash here, and in case there are other errors, I'll put a line break after it. Okay. Now let's see what other errors we might want to catch. We might also want to find out if they have selected a repeat option. Now we really should default it to never, but this gives us an opportunity to double check that they have selected something. So when they select something, you'll see that actually we are not outputting our thing. So we will do a print R here again. So print R post, and this will just give us some information about what we're posting to make life easier on us. You can see when I select repeat, I get a value called repeat, and right now it's a value of X. But if I don't select anything, so if I go back and it's fresh and none of these are selected, I don't get a value called repeat. So I'm going to say if is set post repeat. All right. Now is set tells me that it has been selected, so I want to reverse that logic, and it's going to be if not. So that's just the exclamation mark. then I have an error, and that error will be, and we'll use the same formatting. Errors will be, please select a repeat option. And I'll put a BR after that as well. So if I refresh, you can see it's asking me to please select a repeat option. I'm going to zoom in a bit, might as well. The final thing we could do is validate whether we have selected a repeat option, but I think that we're going to say that, a notification option. And I think that we're going to say for an appointment, we don't really need that. So the business rules say we don't need to check if the checkboxes were set. If we did, though, we would just ask if not is set and then put in the name of the checkbox, and that is notify. So if we don't have anything in a notify variable, then we have problems. But we'll get a chance to check that anyway when we're outputting. So this is after our error check. We're checking if there are errors, meaning if that's not an empty string, then we'll output the errors. Otherwise, else, this is where we kind of output appointment.